That is the cerebellum. Already you know the specimen of cerebellum, histology of cerebellum, so I will not cover up that. I will go direct to the classification of the cerebellum. Cerebellum, there are two classifications. One is phylogenetic classification, one is functional classification. Now let me, what are the phylogenetic classification, how the names are being derived. Now cerebellum is actually related with the muscular activity of the body. Now in case of lower animals which are keeping in the water, the fish and the amphibians group, that groups having the small type of cerebellum which is phylogenetically called the evolution wise archicerebellum. So the archicerebellum is controlling the movements of the fish and the amphibians, and the nucleus which is responsible for those is the nucleus fastigius of the cerebellum, and this is controlling, it goes to the maintain the equilibrium of those animals via the vestibular nucleus. So functionally that is called vestibulocerebellum. So archicerebellum is phylogenetic terminology and vestibulocerebellum is a functional entity of it. Now what are the lobes which are present in this type of cerebellum? It is the lingula portion. You see the diagram shows it is the lingula and the flocculonodular lobe. The color indicates these are the parts of the cerebellum which belong to the archicerebellum. Lingula and flocculonodular lobe. And vestibular nuclei are involved in this, and this is taking the zone, this is the varmal zone, and the nucleus of the deep nucleus of the cerebellum responsible for this is called a fastigial nucleus. So component of archicerebellum is otherwise called vestibulocerebellum, present in fish and amphibians, is having the lingula and the flocculonodular lobe, and goes to the vestibular nucleus to maintain the equilibrium of the fish and amphibians. It is a varmal zone of the cerebellum which is having the nucleus called fastigial nucleus involved in this archicerebellum. Now coming to the improvement of the motor activity of the animals. So what happens in case of birds and the reptiles? The birds and the reptiles, they will come on the surface in their nature, so that their cerebellum, they are more sophisticated muscular activity, so they are called the paleocerebellum. This paleocerebellum is functionally called spinocerebellum. Now the spinal cord got involved in this type of cerebellar activity, and the anterior lobe of the cerebellum along with pyramid and ovula is developed in the bird and the reptiles, so they are called the paleocerebellum. So paleocerebellum functionally called the spinocerebellum, when the spinal cord comes into existence, and in birds and the reptiles, and they are involving the lobes which will develop in the cerebellum is the anterior lobe and a part of the pyramid and the ovula. So they will be forming the paleocerebellum. Coming, that will be region, the region where it is present is called the paramarmal region. It is connected to the spinal cord, and the nucleus of the cerebellum which is involved is called nucleus interpositus, which is composed of nucleus emboliformis and nucleus globosus. They are together called the nucleus interpositus. So in case of birds of the reptiles, this anterior with pyramid ovula comes, paramarmal zone, and with the nucleus called nucleus interpositus, and the spinal, they will go to the spinal cord for the control of the motor activity. Now come the mammals group, human beings, sophisticated, more sophisticated muscular activity. So they will be called neocerebellum, or otherwise called the pontocerebellum. The pons will come into the existence, and this will involve the posterior lobe of the cerebellum except the pyramid and the ovula. It is the lateral area of the lobe which will be involved, and it is the nucleus which is taking participation is called the dentate nucleus. So this is more sophisticated type of the cerebellum that is present in case of the higher animals. So it is according to the muscular activity the cerebellum will develop. So the most muscular activity like in the divers, the swimmers, the cerebellum that will be more sophisticatedly present. Now this is reciprocated with the diagram. You see this is the varmal area. This is the varmal area, that is archicerebellum, paravarmal area, this is the paleocerebellum, and this is the lateral area which is called the neocerebellum, otherwise called vestibulocerebellum, spinocerebellum and pontocerebellum. This is corresponding to the diagram. This is lingula and this is archi, flocculonodular lobe, they belong to the archi. Then we will see the anterior lobe with the pyramid and the ovula, this is belong to the paleo or the spinocerebellum, and then we will see the lateral area having the posterior lobe. This is belonging to the neo or the pontocerebellum. Now the nucleus of the cerebellum, deeper nucleus, this is the fastigial nucleus which belong to the archicerebellum. This is the nucleus interpositus which is belong to the globosus and the emboliformis. They are together called nucleus interpositus. This is in the paleocerebellum, and the dentate nucleus, dentate loops, this will be called convert with the pontocerebellum or neocerebellum. So this is your cerebellum from the phylogenetic point of view and functional point of view.